Welcome back. Hold up. I know what's going to happen. Haha. There we go. Welcome back to World War Live, everybody. I'm your host, Conrad Franz, returning for a long Tuesday evening absence. I know the real Tuesday evening Patriots have been missing out, so it's good to be back. Hopefully, I'll be doing this relatively regularly. Maybe, depending on I don't know what day of the week is Christmas this year. I don't know. Maybe that will have a mild disruption, but generally speaking, I'm back Tuesday evenings. Have no immediate plans for any World War Now related travel, so we're back, everybody here. Glad to see everybody in the chat. We've got Jonathan Kelly, Alan Wong, Mongo Bloyd, some other familiar faces, some real World War Now patriots here. Be sure to share the stream in any spaces you know people would want to join in, or places that people might not want to join in. So thank you all for tuning in. Of course, send in the super chats if you want any questions answered. I'll be doing my best to address all of those. We've already got $20 from Jonathan Kelly. Let's just tap into that right now. Finally, I've been trying to catch you boys all day. Now that I've got you right where I want you, I'm assuming you want to buy all my chocolate, but I don't have any chocolate right now. But thank you for the $20, Jonathan Kelly, with the based and red-pilled SpongeBob references. We love SpongeBob here on the show. We're real SpongeBob patriots. Seasons 1 through 3 of SpongeBob in the first movie. You gotta watch all of that to really understand World War Now and what's really going on in the world, in my opinion. So it's good to be back. Like I said, it's going to maybe take me a second to get in the swing of things. I'm not just used to streaming regularly anymore. I've been checked out. But of course, everyone's saying back with the hat, ethnic hat, Phrygian cap. Of course, I wish I could say I was doing it for some special occasion. It is Advent. It is the holiday season. So it is the Christmas Hyperborean gnome in some capacity. But in reality, my hair just looks terrible because, if I'm being honest, I took a nap earlier and my hair got messed up and I didn't want to take another shower. So here's what we're doing. So we've got another $5 from Mongo Bloyd. It says, I just finished watching World War Now episode 143. Do you ever listen to Tom Luongo / EM Burlingame / King Pilled podcasts? Well, I follow King Pilled on Twitter. I think I've seen him on Buck Johnson before, and I think I tuned into some of his podcasts. I know at one point he was like a libertarian, so I don't know if he still subscribes to libertarianism, but I think libertarianism is dumb. Even if you're like a Hoppian monarchist or whatever, I don't, there's some libertarian arguments that are interesting. I'm a Ron Paul respecter and whatnot, but I'm just not a libertarian. But maybe I'm out of touch and I'm misconstruing what he talks about. But thank you for the €5. We got a Euro homo. Sorry, Euro Chad, real Euro Chad here. But don't be careful, man. These new internet laws in Europe. I don't need anybody in my chat getting arrested, because we get really based on this stream. So Mongo Bloyd, thank you for the €5. Be careful out there. $5 more from Jonathan Kelly. Back tithes. Thank you, my friend. We're getting everybody's paying rent. Rent was due, but the landlord was out of town, so everyone knows. Slide the money under the door. Thank you very much. But no, it's good to be back. It's good to see everybody in the chat. We're going to be discussing a little bit about World War III, discussing a little bit about some U.S. news, some things going on in Yemen, some things going on elsewhere. Of course, I always find the more obscure conflicts interesting, but I share these things. People are like, "Why do you think the Cambodia-Thailand conflict is interesting?" I'm like, I don't know, because it's some weird Asian guys fighting in the jungle, and they've got F-16, so we can get some cool footage out of it. So, that's my perspective. But thank you very much. We've got $22 from Alan Wong, real wrench patriot. Glad to have a wrenched up Chad in the chat so that things don't get out of hand. Hope everybody can hear me. Obviously, there's no audio issues. It seems I corrected the normal thing I usually forget to do. Nappy Uyghur cap, we're so back. Blessed Nativity Fest, all true. Hope everyone is keeping strong on the fast. I'm having a tough time. I'm used to the Lent fasts and Easter, but Nativity, Christmas time, it's getting cold outside. You want to be having some chicken noodle soup and some cozy food. You can still have some good cozy food. There's good fasting food, but it's a lot of seafood for my liking. Let's put it that way. But thank you very much, Alan. $22, powerful donation, powerful number. Thank you very much. Keep an order in the chat. But before we move on to talking about the news, I want to remind everybody. Let's get what's the screen share looking like here? Let's shoot this one. Be sure to subscribe at worldwarnow.co. It is linked down below. Get behind the paywall if you haven't already. This week, the most recent Ether Hour episode, fantastic discussion with Father Peter Hears. Excuse me. I'm drinking too much root beer, so I'm about to burp. About the ecumenical patriarchs' joint prayer and meeting with Pope Leo, the papist bishop of Rome, and their meeting in Constantinople to commemorate the 1700th anniversary of the Council of Nicaea. Of course, we discussed the Pope and how he rejects the filioque, for example, in a large capacity, the joint declaration, the apparent signing on to Nostra Aetate by the ecumenical patriarchate. We also get into the fate of Metropolitan Tychikos, the latest on his struggle and his persecution by the corrupt bishops of the church, as well as a few other issues. Father Peter goes into detail about the true Orthodox issue, for example, for anybody dealing with those schismatics. So be sure to check it out. Get behind the paywall to find the whole thing. Almost 2 hours of good talks with Father Peter. So check into that. Obviously, we have the latest World War Now episode, which I hope everybody's also been listening to. Let's refresh this page here. Oh, we're going live as well. So we have the latest World War Now episode, which I hope everybody's also been. Let's get rid of that. Hopefully, we got 29 people watching on Substack, though. Thank you to everybody watching on Substack. Actually, I should pull up the chat on my phone so I can look at that. But yeah, let's mute that. Doesn't seem like I can join on my phone properly. Someday Substack streaming will work properly, but regardless, hello to everybody streaming and watching on Substack. I can't look at the chat right now, but I'm sure you're all doing well and being behaving yourselves. But I really wish that someday StreamYard would get the chat to come over here. But again, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Check out everything on the Substack. That's over in the description wherever you're listening to this. If you're on Substack, you're already here. But if you're not, it's down in the description below. Obviously, Dimitri's latest Guardian of Royal Blood article, I think, was received very well, so be sure to check that out. And of course, don't miss out on the opportunity to watch the Death of Empire documentary, read the Ritual Regicide articles, and listen to dozens and hundreds of other, at this point, Ether Hour episodes. We've got episodes with Anthony of Westgate, episodes with Jay Dyer, episodes with David Patrick Harry. I know we're getting stream cucked right now by David Patrick Harry and Father Peter, talking about David Patrick Harry's new book. So I appreciate everybody for being here. You're compromising. There's always some great ortho streams going on right now. But yeah, also be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching this elsewhere, even if you're watching on Substack or somewhere else. Oh no, we're getting a streamception over here. Let's get out of there. Let's kill the lights here. But if you are watching on Substack or Twitter, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We want to keep growing on there. We only just surpassed 6,000 subscribers, which pales in comparison to the Substack and the Twitter audiences. So be sure to do what you can and get over there. We've got $10 from H. Brasi, Real World War Now Patriot. Says, unfortunately, I have to get up at 3 a.m. for work, so I'm going to miss the stream. Glad to see you back, though. Been chilling hard for you and Dimitri. It'll pay off in due time. Thank you, my brother, our black brother. We've got our... we got the Hoteps, we got the World War Now Patriots, the World War Now Africans are riding with us. So how can we be a racist stream, man? We've got such a diverse cast of characters here. We've got H. Brasi, we've got Alan Wong, we've got me. I'm some kind of gnome creature. So it's all good. We got Father Peter on. He's Greek, so he's not white. So Dimitri Russian, also not white. So it's just I'm the only white guy on the stream, so you can't be hating. GSP comes on, Macedonian, obviously not white. Isaac, Palestinian. So it's a dive. Again, I'm just a guy. I'm just here to sit back and listen to voices of color. That's my job on the show, is to bring and amplify voices of color. And occasionally we have other white guys on, like Cameron McGregor, but we like to bring on our Eastern voices. We like to sit our Western colonial asses down and do some listening every once in a while. And that's what this chat is about. So thanks to everyone for being here. The super chats are rolling in. Everyone's wallets had just been crying out for the World War Live Tuesday evening stream to give me their money. We've got Phineas Deasy 7925 says, welcome back. When Father Peter starts doing Ethnogesser, then I might leave you. I don't know. That might be funny. Maybe we'll have to stream. Maybe we'll have to raid Father Peter's stream in the future and demand that he play Ethnogesser. Or if I ever go on there, I'll just do it myself. So good suggestion. If he does that, then I really will. My stream really will be irrelevant, and there won't be any reason for anyone to tune in. But where's the World War Now merchandise? Good question, Father James. Maybe I'll tell you personally. It's a sordid story about why it's been delayed. It would have been out a while ago, but unfortunate personal events occurred that have delayed the process. But hopefully in the future, people will be able to buy the World War Now embroidered Carhartt sweater. It won't be cheap, I'll tell you that much. It won't exactly be cheap, but I can try to make sure it's not too expensive. So hopefully we can get the World War Now the Carhartts. Maybe I'll start selling these hats, even though I bought this on Etsy from some random person that makes them. So maybe we can sell World War Now Phrygian caps in the future. Maybe we can sell what else? I mean, I've got the other hats over there, t-shirts and other things. So hopefully that's coming down the pipe soon. So I apologize, Father James. Maybe before that I'll just send you some pro bono just for free before I even make them publicly available, because you are one of our strongest soldiers, of course. $4.99 from Jonathan Kelly. A gnome is speaking, listen and learn. So true. You don't get this opportunity. I'm not wearing the hat all the time. It's not always gnome mode. So, whatever Hyperborean knowledge is being channeled into me right now is it's at its peak. So true, King. So true. All right. What content do we want to start with? Do we want to scroll Twitter first and react to my latest timeline? Do we want to read articles about Yemen? Do we want to talk about Warner Bros. And all that stuff? I guess we could look at the Yemen thing. We referenced that last episode, so timeline speaking, that's relevant. So let's head to the live UA map, as it were. We'll be adding it to the stage here. So this is a current map. I'm sure it's a few hours or a day or two behind what you could find on, OSINT Telegram and other things. But I'll get to everyone's super chats eventually. But so here we have a map, and I've got the legend here pulled up. Obviously, the red area, that's where like 90% of people in Yemen live. That's controlled by Ansar Allah, commonly known as the Houthis, who are, of course, allies with Iran and the axis of resistance. You hear all about the attacks from Yemen to Israel. They're launched from here, usually up around here and on the coast here. And they go all the way up here, and they hit Israel here, and they've even hit them here. So pretty impressive, considering they're not recognized really by any international government. And they, again, these are the areas that are vastly controlled by non-Houthi powers, the U.S., Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, NATO, all sorts of other forces. There's all sorts of terrorist cells around here as well. And of course, recently we've been seeing in these huge oil fields and these other resource-rich areas, the UAE and Saudi-backed factions, one of them, the UAE Southern Transition Council, and the Saudi-backed government of South Yemen. I'm forgetting exactly what they're called. They have the Hadramaut. All the tribes from this region are generally united under them. And the difference being the UAE wants to kind of take this area all over here and secede and become, another country in the Gulf, the state of Southern Arabia or something like that. Whereas the Saudi-backed forces are open to even sharing power with the Houthis and reuniting all of Yemen. Because I don't think Saudi Arabia wants a UAE puppet state here when the UAE is already, here, and in many ways is even wealthier than Saudi Arabia. Of course, Iran is never going to stop supporting the Houthis. The vast majority of people in Yemen are supporters of the Houthi movement in some way, shape, or form. The moderate Shia population they are the religious majority there. So that's sort of how things are going to go. So internalize this map. Let's check the super chats. $4.99 from H. Brossi. First of all, racism is based. Unfortunately, we can't get into that topic on YouTube. But let's just say I believe my people belong in Africa. Patriot. We love our black brothers, man. Obviously, you can stay, my brother, but it's crazy. The ones that want to go back, those are the best ones. And the ones that want to stay are the ones we don't want. But we love our black brothers. We love all Americans. We repudiate, of course, all hate and bigotry on World War Live. But thank you, my brother. These are some bagged out niggas here, man. We've got, who says black people can't be bagged out and be poor, man. He's sending it in, man. He's got money to spare, man. So thank you to all the patriots funding the effort here. It's good to get back into the streaming game. Hopefully in the future, Dimitri and I will do more of the if y'all remember the last 2 streams I did, they weren't exactly World War Live. That's why this is only episode 20, even though I have been streaming in the meantime. In fact, let me know in the chat if you were at least there for those streams, if you were down for more of the streams that start on YouTube and then go to the paid section on Substack, if those were good, if that was something you guys enjoyed, because it actually went fairly seamless. It went better than we anticipated. So if that's a method and that's a medium and a style that you guys enjoy, please let us know. But again, thank you to everybody that is super chatting. Quite enjoyable chat this evening. So let's share over here and let's get into this Cradle article that'll help us understand the situation a little bit. Look, I mean, sometimes I'm a little lazy and sometimes I'm like, look, I got to look this stuff up for the next episode anyway. So how about I just do the research on stream? I'll read some Cradle articles. UAE-backed militias seize oil facility in central Yemen and Saudi Arabia evacuates troops from Aden. The Emirati-backed STC, which is Southern Transition Council, has been advancing against Saudi-backed forces and has seized much more of the territory that makes up the secessionist state it aspires to form in South Yemen. UAE-backed Southern Transition Council troops. It's always the Toyotas, man. It's always the Toyotas in the Middle East, these militias. The UAE-backed Southern Transitional Council troops seized control of the Al Aqla oil facility in Yemen's Shabwa province on the 7th of December, coming after a significant escalation between Emirati and Saudi-supported forces in the country. All right, so Al Aqla oil facility, Yemen's Shabwa province. Let's find that on the map. Shabwa. The Shabwa province. The Al-Tal district. The Shibam district. Is it this? Once you get out of Western Yemen, I'm a bit lost here. This is, the reason this interests me is because I didn't really see this one coming, in the sense that, I guess it would make sense with both the Saudis and the Emiratis vying for, peak U.S. investment. And the Emiratis, I think, outbid the Saudis in some capacity, with the Emiratis, being much more cuckolded to Israel. But regardless, it's somewhere out there in the desert, man. You know what it is. Let's share this tab instead. Going on, the Aden Independent TV cited a military source saying that the UAE-backed forces have taken the entire oil facility. Several other vital and strategic areas in the central province of Shabwa have also fallen to the Southern Transition Council in recent days. According to Sana-linked Yemeni media outlet Al Masira, the Saudi military has begun evacuating personnel from Aden. A Saudi military cargo plane evacuated dozens of soldiers who were stationed in headquarters and camps belonging to the Saudi-led coalition command in the city. The Saudi-led Aggression Occupation Coalition issued a decision to completely close Yemeni airspace, preventing the issuance of permits for any civilian flights to and from Yemeni territory, sources told the outlet. This Saudi escalation is a clear and deliberate reaction to the actions of the STC, specifically its recent moves in the eastern governorates of Hadramaut and Al-Mara, which Riyadh considered a crossing of red lines. According to an STC source, cited by Reuters, members of the Saudi-backed government have begun leaving Aden. Southern Saudi Arabia has withdrawn troops from the presidential palace in Aden, where both the Saudi-backed international government and the STC have been based in recent years. Last week, STC forces seized the major city of Sayun and the Hadramaut province, Yemen's largest province. In an operation dubbed Promising Future, STC forces took the city after clashes with troops affiliated with the Ministry of Defense of the internationally recognized Yemeni government, the Saudi-backed Presidential Leadership Council. Sayun is the second largest city in the energy-rich province of Hadramaut. STC forces also managed to capture some areas in the oil-rich province of Mara, bringing its units closer to the border with Oman. Clashes have raged across Hadramaut since late last month. The Saudi-backed tribal militia formed earlier this year. Hadramaut Protection Forces recently called for all forms of resistance against advancing STC forces. Goes on to continue say that in 2023, Saudi Arabia and the Ansar Allah government in Sana'a were close to reaching a peace deal. The agreement was never finalized or implemented, and the Saudi military continues to shell Sana'a and other border areas. The SDC reportedly took a firm stance against the peace talks between Saudi Arabia and Ansar Allah at the time. So that helps it understand the issue being that Saudi Arabia is more open to peace and, I guess, pan-Muslim unity on the peninsula than the UAE is, who are far more eager to ally with Israel. This is root beer, by the way, just letting everybody know. Not anything else. Phineas Jeezy, did you see the U.S. government is finally going to allow Hilux sales in the U.S.? I didn't see the details on that. If there's something you want to send, maybe drop it in the chat, but I don't know the details about that. I'm no expert on that subject. So thank you for the $5, though, my boy Phineas. H. Brossi, $9.99 says, it's actually crazy ironic. I've long held the position that the most patriotic and America first thing a black in the U.S. could want is remigration. Also, a paid member on Substack. So, yes, I'm bagged out. So true, patriot. He's standing on his wallet right now, 8 feet tall, bagged out patriot. Patriotic, $9.99, $10 donation. Send it into Hamilton's. Thank you, H. Brossi. All right, so let's check out the map. What is the latest? Let's go to the news live on the. It says here, it says a Saudi delegation arrived in Al Kasha in Hadramaut, which is no, I think the governorate is around here. On Tuesday, accompanied by Governor Salem al-Kanbashi for a meeting with tribal sheikhs and local leaders following several days of consultations in Makalla. Sources told Al-Huda the 2 leaders of the Al-Qaeda organization were killed in a U.S. drone strike. It's true there is Al-Qaeda and whatnot around here. The Guardian, this is a day ago, a takeover of southern Yemen by UAE-backed forces could pave the way for a declaration of secession as the Southern Transitional Council forces control all 8 governorates in a major setback for Saudi Arabia, the UAE's regional rival. So that's what's going on in Yemen. You thought it was just the Houthis versus Israel and Saudi Arabia, but no, the UAE. I really don't like these guys, man. This country sucks. Like Qatar, they've got problems, but compared to the UAE, these people seem based. And this country has the largest CENTCOM base in the Middle East there. So that says something about these folks. Unfortunately, Bahrain, irrelevant non-entity at this point, totally zogged out. Same with Kuwait. UAE, they could maybe do something. They did step in when it finally came to the Gaza ceasefire in some capacity, but there's some real shabbos going, man. That's all I can say about it. But I guess let's see if we got any more. Got any more super chats? We got Jonathan Kelly 2655, our boy, bagged out competition. Dang, the white boys have clapped back. They couldn't stand to see the Nubians. The Nubians standing on business like that, had to show them, we invented currency and such, us, the Aryans. So thank you, Jonathan, 1999. He's really spending it out here. We're making up for the weeks of no streaming. So we love to see it. Patriots are in the chat, in control. Glad to see everyone in the chat is behaving themselves. Nobody is pretending they can't hear me to get me to restart the stream. So thank you for that. Before we talk about Jared Kushner, some of these other characters, let's got some Telegram things going on here. It says Thailand and Cambodia are escalating toward, if not already, a full-scale war. Both sides are amassing troops along the border and conducting warfare in the jungles of border towns in the region. Cambodian soldiers have been seen firing man-pads at Royal Thai Air Force F-16 fighter jets. Cambodian forces are also moving T-55 tanks to the front lines of the conflict. I'm sharing this right now on the World War Now Telegram if you want to watch the videos, because unfortunately, Telegram doesn't allow me to stream the videos when I want to open them full screen, unlike Twitter or any other website. So check out the World War Now Telegram at World War Now Telly if you want to see what I am reacting to right now. Almost got me, man. Almost got me. Oh, dang. The money fight continues. $30 from Alan Wong. Thank you very much. Money fight. Patient China wins. Dang. I guess it really is IQ based, man. I guess it just follows the IQ bell curve. Left side of the bell curve, we're talking $9.99, $10. Middle of the bell curve, the white man, $20, $19.99, and then the enlightened Asian, the true inheritor of civilization, the middle kingdom, the Chinaman, the Han, he comes out with his 105 average IQ and his $30, slaps it on the table. And of course, the Ashkenazim, they've got $35, but they're not giving it up. So the Asian man is not only generous like all Gentiles, but he is right now. It seems that he is leading the civilizational charge, and I say that as a white man. So thank you, Al. What am I doing, man? What am I doing? Tuesday evening in my room. Yeah, man, we gotta get a studio, man. So that's where this money's going to, man. This money's going in the studio fund, so you don't have to look at my bed that I had to make, right before this with my chair thing on it. And I've got my disc, my flat Earth map, and my Tsar Nicholas icon and Rublev icon. But in the future, we'll get a better camera. We'll have a real studio, full wall background. We've got some flags, some icons, some real World War Now memorabilia, and some lore drops and whatnot. So when you donate, that is what the donations are going to, is making that dream, making that a reality. 1999, Jonathan Kelly's studio fund. Man, I chose a good night to stream. Everyone is donating. We're going to have to tally it up at the end and see who gave the most. I'm sure Jonathan is winning at this point, followed closely by Alan and H. Barassi. But thank you all so much. Phineas up there as well, of course. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Got to keep up with the content, though. Can't have people that aren't, there's going to be the freeloaders, and we got to make content for the freeloaders as well, of course. But I was, looking at this, and again, I'm no expert when it comes to Hollywood, all the Hollywood stuff, all the ins and outs of Alan Wong. JBP approves of making your bed. Making your bed's all right, but you can get away with not making your bed sometimes. I mean, look, it's a king size bed. I've got a duvet on it. It's really tough sometimes to put the duvet cover on. And sometimes it just stays unmade for a little bit. But obviously, I would never have it unmade for the stream. I'm a civilized human being in that regard. But here, I don't know. Like I said, I'm no expert on the ins and outs of Hollywood studios and such. But I have covered, the Larry Ellison, David Ellison TikTok takeover. I've covered, Larry Ellison's increasing role, filling, as one of the new Zionist super donors. Him and Miriam Adelson and Bernie Marcus and the others are really increasing the bid for Zionist Zog control, of course, with the Barry Weiss Free Press, CBS, Paramount takeover. That's I've talked about that on the show, and this is, of course, relevant to that. This is from Axios, of course. The headline is Jared Kushner is part of the Paramount hostile bid for Warner Bros. Discovery. And of course, this is sort of in response to Netflix trying to buy Warner Bros. And again, this is how the dialectic is formed, right? Because everybody was mad that Netflix was going to buy Warner Bros. So was I, right? No one wants Netflix to buy Warner Bros. Netflix is woke. All Netflix shows and movies largely look the same. Look, I'm a Black Mirror fan. I'm a fan of some of the shows, but there's some real problems with Netflix. So that's the story that gets ginned up first. And everyone's mad, like, no, Netflix is going to ruin all this great intellectual property when they buy Warner Bros., all this other stuff. And so then now what happens is, oh, well, now Paramount's coming in, and oh, they'll be less bad. And, Trump is going to be supporting that. So the article goes on and says, Affinity Partners, the private equity firm led by Jared Kushner, is part of Paramount's hostile takeover bid for Warner Bros. Discovery, according to a regulatory filing. Why it matters. Paramount is telling Warner Bros. Discovery shareholders that it has a smoother plan to regulatory approval than does Netflix, and Kushner's involvement only strengthens that case. Paramount is led by David Ellison, whose billionaire father Larry is a major supporter of President Trump. Again, they're also acquiring TikTok. They've also acquired CBS. They're the ones that have put Barry Weiss in charge of CBS, who's now turning it into, you got World War Now, you got ZZN, your ZNN, Zog News Now. That's what CBS is becoming with Israeli asset Barry Weiss at the helm at the behest of the Ellisons. It goes on, Affinity Partners was not mentioned in Paramount's press release on Monday morning about a $108 billion bid, nor were participating sovereign wealth funds from Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, and Qatar. And of course, if people remember, I know Nick read it on his show. A lot of people read it, the recent national security document, which is, pivoting us away from the Middle East, even pivoting us away from confrontation with China, and definitely pivoting us away from confrontation with Russia. It's, pro-white, again, pro Russia as a European potential ally, but it has the whole thing in there. It's like we have to back off and stop telling these Gulf monarchies how to run their countries. And that was, of course, sponsored by Riyadh, Abu Dhabi, and Doha. Right here, the Saudis, the Emiratis, and the Qataris, and they're very powerful, uh, wealthy oil-based monarchies that employ questionably moral immigration and labor tactics. Not that I care at all, but this article goes on. Per the tender offer, each of those parties have agreed to forego any governance rights, including board representation associated with their non-voting equity investments. Each of them also was part of Paramount's original Warner Bros. Discovery bid on December 1st, although fellow partner Tencent subsequently left the group. Warner Bros. Discovery could be the second major takeover Kushner has been involved in this year, having previously played a key role in the take-private agreement for gaming giant Electronic Arts. So it's just a total Zog takeover, man. At the end of the day, you think, oh, we elect Trump. Oh, all these other things happen. And some good things are happening. The Fuentes generational run, I think, is objectively one of the most relevant developments in media in the past decade, probably second only to the rise of Donald Trump himself, which of course we have to apply the Elon purchase of Musk. What am I talking about? The Elon Musk purchase of X. I still call it Twitter, but that was that was a big element to boosting that. But again, if you thought it was bad already with the media, everything currently being sort of 50-50, half owned by Jews, half owned by self-hating Gentiles, wait till it's fully Jewish, and then it's just the little bit of flavor of liberal Jewry, with just full Zionist propaganda. That's where things are going, because as much as people are waking up to this question, we have to be aware of the fact that they're going to be slapping back just twice, 3 times, 4 times as hard. They're rallying the troops. Elon Musk is no anti-Zionist per se. And you got Larry Ellison, second richest man in the world. Mary Matelson, one of the richest people in the world. Again, all of the really, really wealthy people are working as hard as they can. Information warfare tactics, all sorts of other political funds are being poured into now to stop this mass noticing, to the point where, and I've discussed this, I think Maria Z should be releasing an episode soon with me, extensive conversation about World War III and the prophecies. So be sure to check her out on X. Be sure to check her out on YouTube and every other channel. Rumble, I believe. I'm forgetting which one is her favorite place to stream. Perhaps I will find her account on X. Yeah, I'll show that in a second. But what was I going to? Where was I going with this? But yeah, as far as stopping the noticing, I think it might go so far to the point that World War III might really be kicked off and allowed to sort of run wild and be publicly acknowledged, and with really much more relevant armies will be clashing, and it will be an extended period of ongoing fighting and warfare. Might happen largely because world Jewry thinks they need to stop what's going on right now at peace, and throw us into war to confuse us and kind of make sure that becomes the reality right now, because Israel is already in a war mindset. They're fighting the Iranians, they're fighting Hezbollah, they're fighting the entire Muslim world, and on the information front, they're fighting Amalek and all of the Gentiles around the world that don't like seeing them commit a genocide. So Israel might finally just drag us all into World War III if they think this is all going to get bad enough. But at the same time, God will, in many ways, allow that to happen, because look, with digital ID and all this other crazy control biometric stuff that we're getting so fast with the artificial intelligence and everything else, in many ways, God will be the one allowing, I think, the war to take place to prevent a more technocratic antichrist enslavement system from really occurring. So that's your World War Live schizo perspective for now. But yeah, just so everyone knows, follow Maria Z Media on X and wherever else, at all of her other links that are relevant here. This is, we have a big show coming out. It'll be very, very good content, very good listening, very good watching. So be sure to check all of that out. And I think before we do any ethno guests or anything else, we're going to scroll a little bit, see what's been going on the timeline. Of course, everyone's been roasting Piers Morgan for his embarrassing attempt at, I don't know, canceling Nick Fuentes. I don't know why he thought that would work. If that was going to happen, it was going to have happened already. But I thought this was funny. He says, memo to all Groypers, when you call me a boomer, I take it as a massive compliment. I literally use the word boom constantly. I need to celebrate everything from Arsenal goals to England wickets and Piers Uncensored ratings. I'm a very proud boomer. I said, Piers Morgan confirmed as a member of the Jewish Gooners. For those who don't know, the Jewish Gooners is the Arsenal fan club for Jews. If you're a fan of the Arsenal Football Club, you know, who are the Gunners, or Gooners, as it were, they're, you know, this is where you come. And of course, we all saw Piers Morgan bring that Danny Finkelstein character on the stream to talk about me mum and me dad getting turned, you know, getting put in the masturbation machines or whatever it is that that happened to them. Yeah, here, let's react.
Castle. Why is it that way? And what I said in that clip is the reason the Holocaust casts a long shadow is because it confers a political benefit upon organized Jewry. That is what they always fall back on. They cannot be criticized. They cannot be named. They cannot be talked about, lest there be another Holocaust. And no other tragedy is treated that way. And no other ethnic group has a get out of jail free card. Just play that. Anti-Semitism and Holocaust. You can do whatever you want and defend all your actions. That's the part that people are getting upset with. That's the problem.
I don't know any right-minded person who believes that Jewish people weaponized the Holocaust for their own personal get out of jail free or whatever you called it.
You don't know anyone that does that? That believes that?
I'm sure there are some people that do that, but it's such a ridiculous generalization. You know, the truth is that most Jewish people have lost relatives in the Holocaust. In fact, I want to play you two clips. One is where you talk about Adolf Hitler.
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool. So, you know, time to grow up. We're not children anymore. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right, boys? Am I right? Let's go. He was also really fucking cool.
Do you regret saying that?
Saying a fact? No, that's absolutely true.
You think Hitler was very fucking cool?
Yes, I do.
One of them.
And I'm tired of pretending he's not.
Well,
to be honest,
this is the problem, you see. It's a bit like when you just say, I'm a racist. You're a racist who thinks Hitler's cool, but you're not anti-Semitic. If you're a Jewish person watching this, what are they thinking? I'll tell you what they're thinking, because I've got a friend of mine called Danny Finkelstein, who, when he heard I was interviewing you, he's a Times journalist in the UK, very eminent journalist here, and author, who wrote a book about his own family's experiences at the hands of Hitler and Stalin, because you also told Tucker Carlson that you admire Stalin. But let's just take what Danny said here.
Hi Piers, it's Danny Finkelstein here. As you're interviewing Nick Fuentes, you might try suggesting to him that he reads my book, Hitler, Stalin, Mum and Dad. It's called Two Roads Home in the United States. Since he says he's on Team Hitler, you might like to ask him about the fact that Hitler arrested my mum, tried to starve my mum to death, did starve my grandmother to death, sent my great aunts to the gas chamber, my great uncle, my cousin. My grandmother on my father's side ended up being one out of 7 children, the only one that survived the war. So you might ask him whether he wouldn't rather be on Team Mum rather than Team.
No one's ever weaponized the Holocaust for political reasons. It brings immediately just facilitates that exact process. We're not going to watch this long clip, but of course we have the. I go to the replies. I engage in some back and forth with people on this. But you know, he immediately when Nick mentions black crime, he immediately goes, well, "What about white school shooters, mate? Well, at least our schools aren't shooting galleries." The Anglos love that one, man. They're always so hung up on the gun thing. I think it's because we beat them in a revolution with our guns. So then I, of course, post the classic image that show all the mass shootings for 2019. And again, people are like, oh, but that's only, black people always go, oh, well, that's only 1 year. It's like, yeah, man, with exceptions like the George Floyd revolution, these things generally maintain a steady shift throughout the year. So 1 year is generally representative of how these things are. You can notice the vast majority of these people are not white. You've got a huge amount of blacks, obviously the majority. You've got a bunch of Hispanics, and a lot of the whites that are on here are like, all right, these guys are like 80%ers, so what are we really talking about here? People then get pedantic and are like, he was talking about schools, as if a bunch of these aren't school shootings. Look, half of these brothers were shooting up rivals outside the school where people were waiting or at parties. These are high schoolers, a lot of them. So then I posted the, what was this? It's some kind of pediatric study. I'm forgetting where it comes from. So I go on and says an overwhelming majority, and this is 262 adolescent shooters. I think it was taken from one year when there were all these shootings, with an average age of 16. Unlike many of the school shootings that make headlines, Satya said nearly 60% of the shooters in the study were black. 28% were white, 8% were Latino, another 5.7% represented other racial or ethnic groups, including Asian or Pacific Islanders and indigenous people of the Americas. So again, don't believe the stupid meme that just because the most media-covered cases like Adam Lanza, which was fake, Sandy Hook was total nonsense, or of course Columbine and these ones that everyone fetishizes and makes so much media about, just because everyone talks about those, don't think that that means that school shootings is actually like a white thing. Yes, you could argue that it's somewhat more interesting as a media event to cover a antisocial lone wolf school shooting as it is to cover the 50 millionth blood Crip shoot-off breakaway gang shooting in the greater Chicagoland area or any other metro area where black people shoot each other up at school. But that doesn't mean that those aren't school shootings. It doesn't mean that isn't still a certain level of anti-social. Yeah, gang violence is still antisocial. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just because some kid mind-boggled off SSRIs and porn decides to bring his dad's gun to school and shoot people, yeah, that's messed up. And it does represent a social contagion we need to deal with. But it's not necessarily, quote unquote, less antisocial than black people shooting people up for gangs, especially when they're like 14, 15, 16. Like, you're in a gang? Like, come on, man. Like, where are your parents? And well, we all know the answer to that. So it's a tough situation. And we hate that white boomer cuckolds like Piers Morgan attempt to obfuscate those facts. And of course, people have been just cooking Piers Morgan. I mean, his wife he is literally a cuckold. His wife took, what was it, a 3-week break from their marriage, I'm assuming, to just go bang other guys. She posts openly about like hanging out with ripped younger men and like with sexual connotations. Just egregious stuff, man. Just like lowest of the low, scumbag, cuckold nonsense. So, yeah, that's my perspective on that. We got, if you know about this guy on X, he's a deranged freak, but God bless him. I wish him the best. It says Conrad is a flat earther, not much better than being a sodomite, blatantly logical and prideful. So I just said we all got that one nigga that doesn't play when it comes to believing in space. So it's true. Is it not true? Some people don't play. Look, you suggest the moon landing isn't real. You suggest maybe Earth isn't 6 quintillion years old, and they're about to pull their piece out on you. They're about to pull a gun on you. They want to fight you. They want to condemn you to hell. They want to rape you. I don't know. They want to do all sorts of devious things when you don't believe in the NASA CGI nonsense. But $5 more from Jonathan Kelly. You might want to read my book, Oy Vey, Danny Finkelstein. That's true. I will not be reading your book, Oy Vey, Mr. Finkelstein. I will not be reading about your mum and learning about how she got put on the roller coaster into the furnace or whatever it is. But God bless you. God bless you, man. I hope that and I hope you find the Lord. It's my perspective towards all these Holocaust religionists. But we're about 50 minutes in right now. Got a great chat going here. Got things going. Be sure to follow me on X at GnomeRad. Got me, Conrad, World War III analyst. You know who I am. If you're on Ortho Twitter, you've seen the posts. And at this point, maybe you've decided you hate me or love me, you follow me or not. But if you haven't already made an X account, just make one just to follow me. Like just to follow me. Just make one account. Follow me. Follow at World War Now _ follow Dimitri, and that's all you'll need. That's the best part of the app anyway. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that Danny Finkelstein's ancestors, they were the Nazis, and you're not going to believe this. The Nazis. The Nazis used bike pumps and inflated Nanny Finkelstein's ancestors to comical size. They were sort of spherical now, so full of air. And you know what they did, man? They got little feathers and tickled their stomachs till the air rapidly shot out of their mouths, and they twirled around, making a farting noise, and then landed defeatedly deflated on the floor, man. Like that's real, man. You can't make that stuff up. And that's why we have to let 1 billion Indian people into our country. That's why we need to allow children to transition, allow 1 billion Indian people into our country, and let all black people out of prison, because Nanny Finkelstein's ancestors were subject to Looney Tunes levels of torture by 1930s, 1940s Germans. So the more you know, right? But I think it's time. We all know what time it is. Time to play some ethno-guesser. You know what it is. We've all been waiting for it. It's why we're here. It's why you're really here, right? You don't want to listen to all this other nonsense. Never mind. Brief World War III update. It says a Thai KB-5E loitering drone. It looks a little bit like a Shahed. Yep. Wow. I promise I didn't just read this. Immediately after I read that, the next paragraph, knockoff of the Iranian Shahed 136 flying into Cambodian territory for a strike. Intense clashes are occurring, and if you want to check these, I'm going to share all these posts I'm reading live now on the World War Now Telegram. So if you want to see these videos, check out the World War Now Telegram. You've got it pulled up. I mean, I hope everybody watching has the full control center pulled up, right? Like, look, you don't know where World War Live or World War Now is going to go, so you've got to have multiple screens pulled up. You've got the World War Now Telegram. You've got the World War Now. You've got my X account pulled up. You've got the stream on, obviously. You've got Eschatological Visions of the Blessed, obviously, pulled up, hard copy. Find on eschatonvisual.org. You've got a weapon of some kind. You've got your gun, or you've got your knife. You've got your blade to protect yourself. You've got you're prepped. You've got your food storage in case things go down. So, hopefully, everyone can post their World War Now viewing, set up your control station, their own World War Now bunker, of which, of course, I'm in, which I hope to, again, have a better studio before. So that's what's going on. But I was reading the post here. It says intense clashes occurring in the Surin province in Thailand. Thai troops are shelling Cambodian positions, while Cambodian soldiers are launching BM-21 rockets back toward Thai positions. Thai soldiers use M40 105mm recoilless rifle to attack Cambodian military position in the video seen, which I'm now sharing on the World War Now Telegram. So for those that care about real obscure, Indo-Chinese battle footage, this is what we're doing at 8:39 p.m. Central on a Tuesday evening here at World War Now. Oh, I need a new office chair, man. So maybe in the future, maybe after Christmas, you'll see me with a new office chair, because this one, not a lot of lumbar support, if I'm being honest, unfortunately. So there's that. But it's ethno-guesser time, baby. Let's root beer's all gone. Switching to water. Oh yeah, while we got people watching, might as well do a live ad. Antelope Hill Publishing, everybody. I'm going to drop the link in the live chat. If you haven't bought your Christmas gifts, you haven't bought, you got some based and red-pilled people in your life, or maybe some not so based and red-pilled people in your life you're trying to bring over the based and red-pilled side, you got to be buying books from Antelope Hill Publishing, man. One, because they've got fantastic right-wing content. We've got all sorts of books here. The latest edition of Culture of Critique by Kevin MacDonald, the 3rd edition. I don't even have this one yet. I'm still stuck with the 2nd edition. You've got Nuremberg, The Last Battle by David Irving, some fantastic censored World War II history. All sorts of incredible content here. I've got some of this, the Lord Miles in Afghanistan book, Foreign Group, all sorts of fantastic, interesting 20th century European history. Solzhenitsyn and the Right, all sorts of you know, the Rye Nationalism Cookbook, all sorts of incredible, the Wehrmacht Fitness Manual, you know, some real deep cuts here. And of course, all the books are fantastic, but most importantly, you can use code WWN at checkout, right? Just go to checkout, you use code WWN. It couldn't be simpler. 3 letters, you know and love it, World War Now, WWN. Just type that code in, code WWN for 10% off all your orders and all the books you want to get. So, of course, click that link. I just sent it in the live chat right here. Boom, antelopehillpublishing.com. Get your Christmas gifts, some really good stuff for the curiously minded people that are the audience of which is growing every day. $9.99 from Jonathan Kelly towards the office chair fund. Thank you, man. My back thanks you. So we got some real patriots in here really taking care of me tonight. We got 15 separate super chats, all right, which is very good for a front of a cold opening back, you know, because not everybody, you know, I should have probably even posted the you know, scheduled the stream yesterday so people had more time to get in, but I think I played it right, got it posted a little bit before 10:30 this morning, so people had about 7 hours or like 9 hours to lock in. So seems like it worked. But now we're locked in on some Ethno-Guesser daily game. If people want to play along, feel free, but try not to spoil it because we like to do our thing. All right. So these are Africans. And whenever I see normal looking Africans, I'm tempted to just go West Africa. But that's wrong a lot of the time. Like, I have a strong feeling for some reason this is going to be like South Africa or something, even though my like immediate just like my brain is saying, okay, these look like normal Bantus, so why not just go to the Bantu heartland, you know, in Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, you know, where most of these types of people come from. But you know, it's step one. What's the chat thinking? You know, we're back on the grind. I'm real rusty. It's been weeks. What, no one has opinions? No one has opinions on these good-looking people and where they may or may not be from. Leaving me out to dry, folks. Leaving me out to dry. Could they be Sudanese? Could they be South Sudanese? Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. The game's not that up to date. Not Somali, I agree. Could it be Congo? I mean, do we hedge in the Congo? I mean, it's sort of a hedge. As of right now, I'm going to hedge in the Congo unless somebody definitively wants to tell me if this is Sudan, East Africa, or South Africa. Those are our options. Sudan, East Africa, South Africa. If not, I'm hedging Congo. So we got 10 seconds. I'm going to be counted down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, nobody had an opinion. Check, doing one last check. You know, I'm sure the chat might be delayed with certain people, so not see. You know, maybe I should pull up the sub going on in there. It says we've got 53 people watching on Substack, so I don't know if that's 53 people right now or if that's 53 people have tuned in so far, but that's that. All right, but nobody has tapped in unless I'm having some issues with the stream. We all good? We got people in? All right. I'm hitting the Congo. Bazing. Ooh, okay. Sudan was more accurate, but we were fairly close. If I just gone north, a little bit farther north, Central African Republic, we could have had it. So the hedge was a good play. Hedge was a good play. Next round. I think Wi-Fi problems. Why isn't it working? Okay. Oh boy, oh man. What is this? Are these like little jungle pygmy people? Are these like South Americans? I need your help, chat. Where's everybody at? I need the world. I need the ethno-guesser patriots. I've been out of practice. I need to phone a friend. Nobody's everyone's too scared to put their guesses forward after I crashed out when people told me to guess Romania or whatever it was instead of Afghanistan. That's a legendary clip, which I'm probably just gonna post the clip at some point. Yeah, I agree. It's looking somewhat South American. But they could maybe even be like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe like they could even potentially be like Southeast Asian, like Malaysian or something around here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go like boom. All right, I should have just gone Malaysia, but thank you to Jonathan Kelly for. Hey, we got Seth Elfar with the Vietnam. That would have worked as well. So got the Senoid, the East Vetted type, native to the forest of Southeast Asia. Yeah, they looked like they'd be climbing in some trees and whatnot. Ooh. Could these be Turks? Could these be like Black Sea Turks? Isn't Alan Wong the pen name Andrew Anglin goes by? Where does Andrew Anglin even write? Is the Stormer back? I can't remember if the Daily Stormer is back, but I remember when it shut down. And I think he might have a Wong pen name. But yeah, so what's these Turks, could these be they've got interesting noses, dark eyes, negative canthal tilt at a sort of racial level. So I'm tempted to go, maybe at the intersection of Turkey, Georgia, and Armenia, maybe like here in Trebizond. If only David Erhan was in the chat, he'd be able to let me know if I'm on track here. But the woman has a little bit of Slav to her, but she has the dark eyes as well. The man, he almost looks a little like Djokovic. So maybe they're over here more. Maybe they're Bulgarians or Thracians. But I think this is a good good hedge. Oh. We're about to lose our esoteric racist cards, guys. These are Basque. Of course, Basques are not white. So, ancient European type associated with the Basques, found in its purest form in the Pyrenees-Atlantiques region of southwestern France, although many modern French Basques are West Alpinate, also present in northern Spain, where it is mixed with the Mediterranean and thus less brachycephalic, sometimes along the French Atlantic coasts and in Wales. Brother, that's not going to look good on the highlight reel. All right, guys, lock this in. Jonathan, Alan, Phineas, everybody in chat. Let's pull the picture back up. These are Basques. This is what the game considers Basque people. Some Aquitaine, Bordeaux, some wine, separatist, communist shit, man. So let's lock this in. We're locking it in. Not good though. I guess we didn't get 0. Could have been worse, but that's it's not good. Next round. Okay. These are Asians, I think. Gonna go out on a limb and say these are Asians. All right, Alan, what are your thoughts? I think we're all waiting for your perspective here. Southeast Asia. Okay. But I don't know, are these just straight up Vietnamese? Are these like Hanoi? Are these like, are these Hainan people? I do want to go to Hainan. It's a pretty, seems like a cool place. I find it funny how Hainan was completely controlled by China before Hong Kong was. You know, what's the deal with that? Who's the next person we should have? I mean, I guess Steve Su is sort of our resident China guy. We should get him on for another show. Unless any of you Asian gents have any suggestions on, you know, who's like a ethno-nationalist, like multipolar aware, but like not a homo or a weirdo, like Chinese person we could have on, you know. That's chat's quest. Find us someone like that. So y'all think these are Vietnamese? All right, we'll go between Hanoi and Haiphong. Unless you guys are thinking somewhere else in Vietnam. I think we're gonna run it back. Boom. So true to our Vietnamese. Not man, I got, if I guess South Vietnam, it wouldn't have been as good. So team effort there. Good job, gang. The average is only 3K, so we did it, Reddit. We did it. Yeah, these are some abos right here. Oh, the question is, are these like Darwin abos or are these like Tasmania abos? Let's get the antenna going to lock in on the Hyperborean racial information. We're getting our signal is locking in. Oh, that's true. Are these just Indians? Did I get carried away in my anti-Indian racism and just call these people abos? Could these be Madagascar? Dude, yeah, it's this whole ocean, man. It could be anyone. If these are abos, I'm never trusting chat again, but you're right. These do look like Indians. Frankly, these kind of look like those Yemeni people that have cucked me in the past. I'm probably not going to guess that, but if this is Yemen and I don't guess that, I might crash out. I might just crash out. But I think you might be right. We're going to go with the tip of the Indian wiener. I think. Because then I think I still get some points if it is Yemen. I'm sort of hedging here. Anyone have any final real strong convictions you want to let me know of before I lock this in? If it's Yemen, man, I'm going to poop my pants. Going to poop my damn pants. Get out of my face. Nope, no one seems super convicted, so let's lock it in. Boom. Oh, it was just straight up Indians, man. That was just a straight up North Gondid. Ancient phenotype native to north central India. Who knew? Guess I know. Still below average. Not good. Not good. Got up my poo and loo knowledge. Lock this in, guys. North Gondids. All right, 6 out of 10. We're in the second half. All right. These are just Scandinavians. Yeah. The Dalophalid, which I am largely descended. Coarse Cro-Magniform Norded variety of Central and Northern Europe, named after the Swedish province of Dalarna and the German region of Westphalia. Aryans. We love them. You know them. We may be a diverse ragtag. You know, you guys may be my... You guys may be my diverse ragtag group of diverse ethnicities, but we all know why I'm in charge. We all know. All right. We love everybody. Oh. What is this? What? Oh, she's looking beat. What am I looking at? Ooh. They look They look not looks maxed, is what I can say. Oh, man. These people are so ugly. I have no idea, man. Like, maybe like Turkmenistan, maybe like down here, maybe like up here. I don't know, man. Maybe I don't think they look Hispanic or anything, but what are we thinking, folks? What are we thinking? Anyone? Just throw something out there. I need something to. All right, yeah, you're speaking my language, Alan. Are these Kurds? Yo, Kurd. Sorry to my Kurdish audience. I know there's like one person at least, but yeah, we're locking in on some Kurds. Oh, what are we doing? What is this? Oh, Paleo Sardinian. So I should have guessed on frickin' Sardinia, but not all of Sardinia. Ancient type was widespread in Central Europe during the Neolithic, has survived as a minority element in the Balkans of the Italian island of Sardinia. Morphologically similar to Berberid, although significantly grackalized and genetically different. Both show a Paleo-Mediterranean state. Similar traces exist in Perigord, France, Aegean Islands, Eastern Sicily. So is this like, so these people are like why Mediterranean people aren't white? It's like because they mixed with a bunch of these like Arab-looking people. Is that what we're learning here? So I should have guessed. This is so bad, man. Greeks are not beating the allegations, man. Look, I don't know how many Greeks we have in chat. Are these people Greek? What are your thoughts on this? Is this slander? Have we driven these people out? What's the status here? You guys let us know. I got more books to read before I understand what to think of this. But man, that lady is. Look, I've been to Greece. I know enough Greek people to know the women are not that ugly. So that's yeah. Let's move on. I don't like this one. Here we go. Some civilized people. Are these Koreans? Could these be Koreans? Or am I tripping? I'm about to lose my yellow man respecter card. Are these Mongols? Are these inner Chinese Mongols? Oh, what are these like? Are these like Hua or like Ho? Mongolia. I don't know. They look. I guess it could be Mongolia, but like they look a little more yellow. I don't know. Altai Mountains. Tell me like a province, look at this map and tell me a name of something that correlates to something on this map that I should put it next to. Yeah, I was thinking maybe Inner Mongolia. Let's lock that in. We did it. Yeah, those were just straight Mongolians. Gobids. But it is true, there are more Mongolians and Mongols in China than in Mongolia. So the more you know. But yeah. Tungid variety of the vast Central Asian desert and steppes, Gobi and southern Siberia. Oh, we're back. These people look a little more like Dutch, maybe. Like maybe there. Like they look a little more like that than the previous one who looked more scanned. Or are these Asian? And they have blue eyes. I don't know if these are Finns. I was going to go Dutch. I'm going to go Dutch. Wow. I apologize. I bend the knee to Mr. Yandau 53. Totally flubbed that one. So yes, those are East Baltids. Savalaxids. Should have trusted chat. That one pisses me off. Oh. I don't even know what I'm looking at. What are we looking at? I don't know. I mean, the lady looks kind of like this, but the dude looks like freaking Cheddar Man or something. I don't know. What are we thinking here, gang? Is this like some land bridge freaking plains people stuff, or is this like some Siberoid stuff? Like what are we thinking here? Ainu. Are we thinking these are freaking Ainu? They're definitely like Eskimos or something. I mean, if they're Ainu, I mean, Mr. Yandau or M. Ryan Dow, I don't know, or Mr. Yandau 53. He was right last time. So maybe I've got to throw this one to him again. Freak it, man. Let's do the Ainu. Let's freaking do it. Unless someone think it really isn't. I knew I should be more slanty. Maybe like something out here. By truth, your will be free. You did this. You made me second guess the almighty Mr. Yandau. Mr. Yandau is who we ask now. Mr. Yandau is now the ethno-guesser guy. If I had just listened to Mr. Yandau, I would have had a much better score. How do I check out my score? No. Oy vey. Oy vey, man. Well, that's that. We're out here. We all saw how I did. We can all rewind it, but look, we all have to apologize to Mr. Yandau. We bow before you. In the future, Mr. Yandau, please save me from this brutal ethno-guesser guess. Defeated by the Ainu, defeated by Finland, defeated by obscure, as usual, it's always obscure Asiatic peoples getting in the way. Look, there's black people, there's white people, and then all you people from over there in Asia coming over and with these tribes, and you messed it all up. You just messed it all up. So yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a good stream. We love playing ethno-guesser. Want to encourage everybody please check out worldwarnow.co. Over here, you find everything. You get access to the Death of Empire documentary or episode discussing it. With Charles, you get access to every episode of Ether Hour, including our latest episode with Father Peter Hears. You get access to our in-depth stream where I go into all sorts of background about my meeting with Gabriel DeRochen. We react to the full interview, and I give all sorts of context. Dimitri gives all sorts of history. We have our interview with Elijah Schaefer. We've got my interview with St. Alexander Nevsky Volunteer Brigade and breaking that down. All sorts of incredible content. My intense episode on Moldova, episodes with Anthony of Westgate, Q&A episodes. We should be coming out with a new Q&A thread here in the next few days, so keep an eye out for that. Get behind the paywall so you can ask us questions in the Q&A thread on Substack. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. If anybody has any final questions or super chats they want to send in, I'll be on for another 2-3 minutes here before we shut it down. So send in those super chats, ask whatever questions you want. Thank you everyone who has supported the show. We're talking Jonathan Kelly, Mongoloid, Alan Wong, H. Brasi, Phineas Deasy. Who else? And that's everybody that has super chatted. So thank you all so much so far. If anyone has any other questions, be sure to send them in. As I mentioned before, antelopehillpublishing.com. Use code WWN to get 10% off. It helps us out. It helps them out. A lot of great Christmas presents that you can tap into there. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel, World War Now. That's what you're likely watching on right now. So obviously get all the live streams, get all the replays and all the old stuff. You get all the videos, besides, just the free previews, of course. But if you like watching on YouTube, you've got to come on here and subscribe. We're only at 6.07K subs. So we want to really, be really great if we can get to 10K within the next few months. So get us up there, get the subscriptions, get the subscribers up. But obviously, worldwarnow.co on the Substack is the real home base and where everybody should stay locked in. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm not seeing any more super chats, so I think we'll probably land this plain solid haul here on the super chats today. So thank you very much. Jonathan Kelly, $2. What's your favorite color? Well, it's a tough question. As a kid, I loved orange. Big Texas football, University of Texas football fan, so I do love the burnt orange. But ultimately, I'm a big fan of royal purple. I'm a big fan of navy blue and its red counterpart. So whatever navy red is called. I know there's a term for it, college red or something. I don't know. Crimson, I don't know, whatever that is. But I'm a big fan of that. I like different golds and yellows. I like a sort of bright regular yellow you might see on like a plastic Pelican case or something, but I really like certain golds. So yeah, I don't know, all sorts of different colors. Red, blue, purple, orange. Yeah, I don't know. All the colors, right? I do like it in certain church settings, especially outside Russian churches, but generally I don't love light blue, even though I've heard I look decent in it. The colors I'm wearing right now are definitely some of my favorites. I really love the navy blue with the red on it. I think it really goes well with the red hat. So I get that I look kind of retarded, but I think it's a vibe at the same time. Fave shape, I don't know, octagon. I like the number 8, so I'll go with the octagon. Talking about our favorite colors on EthnoStream, real, favorite color, white. How about we end with that, right? So thank you all for, again, donating, everyone that donated, everybody that tuned in, everybody that shared. Click the links down below, worldwarnow.co. Follow me on X at GnomeRad. It really helps me out. I want to get to 12K. I want to get up to 20K, hopefully up to 100K, maybe even by next year sometime if I really lock in on the X grind. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Follow me on X. Subscribe to us, worldwarnow.co. Subscribe to me here on YouTube at World War Now. Follow us on Telegram at World War Now Telly. And with all of that, I will see you next week. We will see you on the next Ether Hour, next World War Now episodes. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you on the next one. God bless.